what should we talk about?
I just loved what you were saying before about like why like you basically said when it comes to your willingness to be sexual with dudes.
Right. We're talking about different types of sex. And also, really quick, just want to like express gratitude for the type of relationship that we have. Because if we weren't non monogamous, if we were monogamous, then I wouldn't have the opportunity to figure this stuff out. And so I'm really grateful that, yes, I'm really grateful. I'm so grateful for you and for everything that we have.
And for Loki.
Yeah. Hi, baby. So, like, where I'm at right now with, like, looking for new partners and, like, what I'm hoping to get out of, like, those experiences. Like, what you were saying about, like, being with someone and, like, seeing, like, a switch flip in them and then, like, knowing that you have permission to just, like, take whatever you want and make anything happen. Like, I know exactly what that's like, and that was like most of like my sexual experiences in college and stuff. It was like just don't ask, just do it, and everyone will have fun and it'll be fine. And like that's actually really damaging. Like that's kind of a shortcut, and it's like faux ecstasy. And um, so now it's like you have to meet certain standards of like intellect and emotional maturity and like willingness to be open too. Like you have to be okay with the fact that like I'm gonna want to talk to you about all this stuff on our first date.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people might not be okay with that.
Yeah.
And um and right now with guys, like that's enough. Like if you meet all of those standards and like you're cool and you can hang, like then that's good enough. Because what I'm looking for with men is very different than what I'm looking for with women. And and that's really important. That's an important distinction because I thought it was the same for a while. Where are you going?
So with women, you need a more intellectual connection. You need a more.
It's not more intellectual. It's just with men, it's like yeah, we can like once you hit all of like check all those boxes, like that is enough for me to feel like safe and like obviously with attraction and all those things like willing to play. But with women, it's like there's going to be this whole other conversation about the power of sex in healing and like this healing energy that like tantra and BDSM bring to the table that's different than just like a booty call.
Mm-hmm.
And both have their place in like a healthy sex life, I think, because sometimes you just want to fool around and sometimes you have like deep emotional work that you need to do. And um so yeah, I think that just that was I knew that was the thing the whole time, but being able to articulate that was challenging until now.
Mm-hmm.
So um and because a really big part of me like being bi, I've just thought like it's the same. Like my attraction to men and women, it's the same. Like I'm attracted to anyone, like regardless of gender. It's just who you are. So I have never like dug into that in a deeper way to say like no, this is what women can offer and this is what men can offer. I've always just seen it as this like unilateral thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I think it's really helpful. No. I think it's really helpful now to like make that distinction um and just like see what that can do in my life.
Yeah, I really like what you were saying. Like I liked how the other night you were confused about. Hey, you were confused about the like you weren't quite fulfilled. You weren't quite as fulfilled as you imagined that you would have been from your experience with your friend, and you were trying to figure out why that was, and just talking about like chasing passion, where it is, where it's going.
Yeah.
Like we've both come from a place where we were so hungry for having our fundamental needs met, for connection and compatibility and touch and just basic narcissistic resources, that when we would engage people, it was kind of blind, it was kind of reactive. It was like, in what we were talking about, the switch flipping, you see somebody that can accommodate you, and it's like when someone needs that kind of validation and they can provide that much validation for us, it's explosive and it feels good in the moment, but it doesn't necessarily provide long-term lasting fulfillment.
Yeah.
Because it's without understanding.
Exactly.
And so it was interesting just to have those two experiences on the same night, where I had that experience where I saw the switch flip in my partner, and I could have dived in and provided myself with that same old kind of enjoyment that I had had before, but not actually have felt so good about it the next day. Whereas you were saying, I thought it was going to be a lot more fulfilling than it was, but it wasn't quite giving me what I needed, and the fact that you think that that's because you really need to integrate more, like there needs to be, I mean, how could you describe it? Like there needs to be more elements of kink and BDSM with the understanding of what it can provide for you in a healing way.
Yeah, and I think maybe even it doesn't have to be like necessarily more kink at first. Like it could just be, I think with women it's like acknowledging that like there is tremendous like healing potential in whatever we're about to create. And so like whether there's rope involved or not, like that's the situation, like that's what we're setting up. Like that's the house that this lives in. So like
Yeah, rather than diving back into intense physical connection in a way that might feel really good in the moment, but might ultimately be more abusive in the long run, you're unpacking those in a safe space with more understanding, and then working out some of that old shame and some of those old problems in a constructive way.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and I think another reason why I was like left, like I don't think I was unfulfilled or like not as fulfilled as I wanted to be or anything. I think it's just um like I thought I was asking for what I wanted in that moment, but I think even now, like reaching this level of clarity, like days later, I'm realizing like I wanted something else. Like I was answering a question, but I wasn't being completely authentic in that response. So like this was really helpful in answering that question in the future, where like um or it's like, yeah, like I want to do all these kinky things and like play with like all of these toys and all of that stuff, but like what I actually want to do is like feel like connected and unified and
With yourself, you mean?
no, like with my partner, and like figure out like what this could heal for either of us.
Sounds like that requires a lot of planning, just foundational stuff, like setting up things with somebody that has a strong understanding of where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really a lot of what like Tantra and BDSM offers, where it's like 100, you're just like being 100% aware the entire time,
Mm-hmm.
like being present the whole time. And that's really intimidating for someone like me, like with my past. And for a lot of those experience, like a lot of my sexual history has been, how can I be someone else and like not feel what this feels like, and
Mm-hmm.
forget that I'm in my body, and drink so I'm numb. And yeah, so this is like radically different than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I think, I mean, the universe delivers everything you need when you need it. And so now that I'm clear about what I need, I have a feeling it's going to be like relatively easy to find partners who can deliver that.
Well, you know how to screen them.
Yeah. Yeah, like give me like 5 minutes with someone and I can tell you if we're on the same page about that, because I'm not ashamed to talk about any of this stuff, because this is where I'm at. Like I don't know how to talk about anything else right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.